Black, what's up?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
You too.
Apple Music up next, man. You are the artist that is kicking this whole beautiful objective off for us to be able to connect with new music. And
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, and I think that was just the goal with it, to create some kind of summary of who I was, what I sound like, and what I've been through.
So where did music first start to take that shape for you? Like, it's more than just a flight of fancy or something I'm interested in. Like, I want to study this.
I would say like after I made the transition from like battle rapping, like I started to get more into making songs, and more than anything, just like after listening to my favorite people and watching my favorite people, it's just like, it's not just, clean cut, like I make music and people listen to it.
You talked about battle rapping before, which is actually really encouraging to know you went out there and really sharpened your skills in that light. A lot of people want to go straight into the art, being an artist and painting the picture and doing the photos and getting, do all that stuff. It felt like you had a hunger to go out there and actually, do it in a very traditional and hip hop way.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like battle rap gave me all the tools I needed to be able to write songs today. Like, in battle rap, it's about, how much you can say, and it's about putting so many different words and expressions together to make something, to get a point across. And with songwriting, it's like, okay, well, how can I get that same point across, but by saying less,
So where'd the name come from, man? Because it's such a striking name. The way you spell it's great, but even if you didn't spell it that way, it's a striking name.
Yeah, I had the name since like middle school, so it's been a long time. Like I've had the same name forever, and I've been Black to like people's parents, to grandmothers, to cousins. Like I've always been Black, and it was just from growing up on that side of town. Like that was Zone 6, and Zone 6 is a part of what shaped me. From seeing the numbers so much like in my life, and I'm big on just processing and paying attention and stuff. So I would see the number all the time, and I would look at the clock at 6 o'clock, and I was born in the 6th month. And if you're from Atlanta, you understand my name off the bat. Other places you might have to, like take a little minute to ease into it. And why is there a 6? And how does a 6 look like a B? And like I have the debate all the time, but it's a great talking point.
Who are your favorite people?
At the time, it was a lot going on, and I was listening to pretty much everything that was coming out of Atlanta. So Atlanta had a wave of, from Outkast and Goody Mob to,
Nice Noise,
and then it got passed to the T.I.s and the Jeezys and Ludacris, and then it got passed to like the whole dance snap like revolution that we had down there. And I think constantly like Atlanta's always had something going on that inspired me, so I was always just kind of like studying the scene and seeing, okay, like I like this guy, but he didn't last that long. Or, like I like this sound, but this sound might not, like get me to where I need to be. And just kind of like taking everything and pulling it all together to make, something that I felt like was mine.
Atlanta's just been such an incredible hotbed of creative talent and really futuristic creativity. Was that really all you were looking at? Is that what you and your friends really referred to when you were growing up? We don't need to look beyond our own borders. Atlanta's kind of giving us everything we need.
No, Atlanta kind of just like gave me the core of what I needed, and it gave me like the extra bit of flavor that you can't get from anywhere else. Like,
why is that? What is that flavor?
And it's like right now it's super, trap influenced, and I don't make trap music, but I make music that can compete and be in the same realm or club or playlist as trap music, just because of the drums and the kicks. But like things like that give Atlanta like its own like little signature and its own identity, and I just feel like that played a part into me making this project, because I didn't want to abandon Atlanta, and I didn't want to do anything that people at home wouldn't want to listen to. But I also, wanted to make it a thing where obviously people elsewhere felt something, in regards to it too.
So let's talk about how, you got to the point of making this album, this incredible album that is out now inside Apple Music, and how you put the team together and how you develop your sound. Because like I said at the very beginning of our talk, it has such a complete sound to it already. When did that start to take shape? How did you build that whole vibe?
I came to LA, and I'm trying to figure out if it was August. Might have been like August, yeah. I came August of last year, 2016. And I came out here like with what I thought was the majority of the project. And then I just got engulfed in like being away from all the stuff that, kind of hinders on you at home, and being away from all the same convos, and like actually being able to step back and look at every situation and have a different view on it. And like being out here kind of just gave me, I don't know, just like a different stride, and I started basically from scratch again. Like the only old songs that made it were like part of EA6, that was an older song. Getting Old was a little bit older, but for the most part, like everything was done from August to November. So I would just be in the studio every single day, and I would have my producer sing out in there, and we would just kind of sit there literally for at least 12 hours a day and just whether we're making something or just staring at each other.
So what was the situation with Problems? I want to know how you felt when you first, like, I mean, let's just try and be, I want to fanboy out about that record in particular, because that beat alone is something so special. So when you first got the essence of what that was, even before you laid a vocal track down on it, what did it make you feel?
Problems was like one of the weirdest songs, like when it actually came to cutting it, because first my producer linked me to the beat, but it wasn't a beat that he produced. It was something that he just kind of stumbled on. So I get the beat, and I just remember that night everybody was getting ready to go out, and I had like literally just got a text on my phone that was like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And I was just looking at him, like showing everybody like, yo, this is crazy, like look at my phone. I'm like, I'm not even texting back, but there's a constant stream of just like crazy messages coming through. And they're like, yeah, you need to put that in the song. So I started like with the first couple of lines, and once I got the first couple of lines, then I was just like, this might be something.
So the album is out, and this is one of the cool and really unique things about kicking off this whole Apple Music Up Next program with you, is that it's not like, you know, there isn't a ton of music for people to go and immerse themselves in. I mean, there'll be artists in this program that will be 1, 2, 3 songs deep into their career. For you, it's a beautiful thing. It feels like anyone who's connecting with you on a personal level now will have an actual body of work to go and listen to. So, I mean, that requires a lot of faith and a lot of work and a lot of touring and a lot of support. Is that really what the focus is, to continue to breathe life into that album?
Yeah, like I don't feel like I'm at a point where, you know, it's time to move on or to do anything else like grand or crazy, like as far as a project goes. Like obviously, like on a whole nother sidebar, like my job is to make sure I always have something on tuck, like regardless, because you never know if you wake up and the internet is, you know,
hungry.
Yeah, like if they're hungry, like I'm always ready to press a button. So like that's.
So there's songs in the canon?
Always. Always, always.
Collaborations in the canon?
Always, always.
Things
so,
that will surprise people in the canon?
Definitely. So yeah, like with that, it's just like, you know, Free Black was released to some people early, and people would be like, you know, why are you dropping a project now or an album now when you should be like doing this or doing that? And for me, it was perfect.
Why wait?
Yeah, it's like, you know, why wait? I have the material, I have the story I want to talk about, and more than anything, when people hear Problems or when people hear X Calling, they're going to say, all right, you know, I want to hear some more. And then they'll search and they'll stumble on the whole project. And I think that's just great for people to kind of be able to reference back to. Like, even if you're just finding out about me, like there's something for you to go and listen to.
You know, with success comes pressure and expectation, and how are you finding that right now, because it's starting to connect?
To me, it's just like every time something exciting happens, like my brain is just like, all right, like, you know, like, how can you up your game, or how can you better, you know, what's to come? Like, I'm always in my head, I'm always just trying to like figure out how I can sound different or deliver something different. So I enjoy it, you know, like, and if I was any other way, I kind of feel like I would just be too, I don't know, I would just be too stagnant, you know?
You know, you've done some collaborations recently, and I always think that's an interesting transition point for an artist who's made some noise off their own back. Then the phone starts ringing, you have to pick careful.
Yeah.
And you've done some really tasteful ones. I thought your work with Sid was amazing.
I love Sid so much.
I mean, it was incredible. She told me how she, you know, she heard your music and was just like, that guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How
No,
was it?
It was always like that for me, but this is like, because Sid was on the radar, you know, for a while
Yeah.
before I kind of came onto the scene, and when she reached out, it was already automatic for me. I'm just like, I already know I love your music. I already, like, I loved Ego Death, and I just kind of love everything that Sid touches. So when she reached out, she got the verse back like within a week, if that. Like, I was just like, yeah, of course, I'll do it. Like,
For The Weeknd to have influenced you like that, and then to find yourself on stage with him in that environment, there must have been a moment when you were like, all right, that works.
like when you meet people and the vibe is right and the connection is right, like there's no question.
So is there a future for you and The Weeknd to collaborate on music? I mean, that's what that's what we all want to hear now. I mean, you've done it on stage, and I do think there's a real aesthetic similarity between you two.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely.
Good.
Of course.
Of course. I mean, what's the next dream? I mean, who else? Who would you ideally love to be able to connect with? Or in fact, perhaps maybe even at this early stage would leak that you have in fact connected with, and amongst all of these surprises? That
You know, just on some who I like really, like, I want a Thug feature. Like, I like
you
Young
do
Thug.
that? You must already have
Yeah,
that.
no, I like Young Thug.
That's in the canon.
There's like a video of us battling. Like,
That's in the canon. Really?
yeah, just like floating around on Twitter. But this was years, like before he was who he is, before I was who I was. This is just like,
Have you connected since that moment?
no, not yet. Not yet. So
Wow.
I'm excited about that. So.
It was really nice to meet you. Thank you for joining, you know, me in this situation and sort of breaking silence and being a fan. I'm a fan.
Thank
Stay
you.
a fan.